We're getting down to crunch time. Just 2 weeks left until the grand finale of the Reinventing Racehorses Trainers Challenge for 2025. Weeks 9 and 10 bring us to the edge, where training hours get shorter, the stakes get higher, and every decision matters. The horses have come so far, but this is where polish meets pressure. Watch closely. The finale is just around the corner, and these last steps will define the journey.
Hello everyone, happy week 9 I believe. Our question this week was, if your horse could talk for a day, what do you think he would say, or she? I think W would just be constantly asking, what are we doing today? Are we trying something new? Are we meeting new horses? Are we meeting new people? Just asking questions. He's such a kind of okay with everything guy, and every time I see him in the paddock he comes up to me like, what are you doing, what's going on? He's very curious, but he also minds his manners so much, so he's not pushy at all. So I feel like it'd just be a whole bunch of questions of excitement of just what's gonna happen, what is he doing. This week has been pretty chill. I have been back to back from the weekend to the weekend, super busy with events, so not a lot of riding. I did a trail ride last week, and we did try W with a beginner student just to see how he would take it. They asked to not be recorded, so which is totally fine by me. But the beginner student, he had no problem with her sitting, and this was an older student, wasn't a very small one. And he, by the end of the lesson, they were riding over poles and patterns, and just, when a beginner is just learning, it's just the constant arms out and kind of pulling a little hard and not knowing when to stop pulling the rein out in circles and things like that. And he took it like a champ. When he needed to move forward, he would stop a little bit every once in a while, but then move up forward for her, and it went really well. I was very, very happy with him, and he just didn't flinch by it at all. It was so nice. It's just so nice to have a horse that is relaxing and chill like that. But no, other than our trail ride and then just a little bit of halter work that my lesson kids have done with him, it's been a pretty relaxing week, but I am so excited for next week. We have a lot planned and it is going to be very busy. So anyway, I'll see you next week. A little bit more update about W. So we have decided we're going to try his next round with the farrier. He's going to be getting shod on his front two hooves. He's just been a little stiff when he gets his feet done every time, to the point where I think the arthritis kind of kicks in. I don't know if there's been a past injury that's kind of triggering it or it's just wear and tear. But he usually moves pretty fluently, so just the drastic change after him getting done, I'd like to try and avoid that as much as possible. And as well for that, he is actually signed up for a couple shows. There is one show that we're kind of thinking about, either he'll be going or another horse in my barn will be going. We're just going to see where he is by that point, because we will be using him with my lesson kids. So I want to make sure everyone's comfortable and ready to do that, as well as be able to do as many of the classes as possible without having to worry, is the horse or the rider ready. I have 3 students going, so, and then I also hope to show myself, so having 4 riders sharing 2 horses is the plan. So it's either between my trying true little tiny lesson pony, my project horse right now, W, and then also I have a horse that's borrowed for lessons, so that's kind of our toss-up. And other than that, this October he will be competing, hopefully, fingers crossed nothing goes wrong, in the Queens County Fair, where he's going to go and do some Western classes and have some fun. I've never actually participated in the fair. I've gone every single year since I can remember, but it's going to be fun to see kind of behind the scenes of this. And also see if he's truly bomb-proof, because, you know, the Ferris wheel, it gets everyone. And the Magic School Bus as well, if that's there. So we're going to see how everything goes, but I'm really excited. He has been really good this week. And he's been so cuddly. But no, other than that, it's been a good week. I didn't get a lot of videos this week because they've either been in the barn when it's too hot when I'm at the barn, or I have been away. I actually just got in the door from a camping weekend, so it's just kind of been a little bit busy, but I'm excited for next week. Hello everyone, I hope it's not too echoey. I've had to move into the house because we got rained out in the barn, and the rain on the steel roof makes it you can't hear a thing, not a thing recording. So anyway, like I said, we just were out in the barn. We took W out to lunch him in one of the hay fields where it's nice soft footing. He did really good. He has still, I think it's his frog and maybe a bit of his sole bothering him. He does have a couple cracks forming on his feet, so we've been making sure to keep those moisturized with the hoof flex and everything. It's kind of hard too because he's also getting thrush treatments to make his frog less soft, which kind of is just a balancing act of one ointment to dry it out, one ointment to moisturize. So it's been fun dealing with that, but he is doing better. Where he had some time off in the last couple weeks is about 4 days. You can tell 4 days does make a difference with him if he's not consistently moving. So we're trying to slowly bring him back, so that's why I lunged him instead of rode today. I'm also trying to get him to just relax when we start doing canter work. You can tell he really thinks that he is just not supposed to. He'll do 2 strides and it feels very rushed, very, I'll do it and then I'll have to stop. So we're just slowly working on that, but we put him a little bit on a hill, did some trot work, and then kind of angled him on a hill so he could pick up the canter on the flat part and then canter up the hill, and that seemed to help a bit getting him to pick up the canter and engage his hind end. But you can still, he kind of puts one leg up on the hind end, kind of flamingo hops, and then starts pacing again, just losing his balance. And I think it's just gonna take some time for him to realize that he can relax and just keep it consistently working. A few days ago we did ride, and you can kind of see in the videos, he did a lot better. That was probably our best canter work that we've done. We tried out a Western saddle just to see, mostly if I liked it. He doesn't put up too much fuss about anything, but just deciding if I need to buy one or if I can use my mom's. And you can see in the videos, he's sweating quite a bit. We didn't do a lot. He just works himself up so much, I think. Once we get into the canter, it wasn't hot. It was a perfect, nice, breezy day. He cooled out very quickly, but just as soon as we started doing canter work, the sweat started dripping off him. So we're just trying to make everything a good experience and try and get him used to it happening and rewarding as much as we can. I generally think that he does not think he's allowed to canter, and we're just trying to show him that he's allowed. Other than that, it has been a really good week, really slow, really busy. slow with the horses, I should say, busy with life. So I am going to be away for the rest of the weekend, but I'm hoping next week to get everyone brought back around. I had to take 2 weeks off from lessons just because back-to-back events going on. So trying to get everybody back in shape is taking up most of my time. But no, I'm very excited for next week. I've actually lost count of what week we're on. I think it's 10, but I keep getting them mixed up at this point. But yeah, our question, which usually I say it the first, so I try not to forget it, but I'm pretty sure it's, what do you wish more people knew about the standardbred breed, and just standardbreds in general? And I wish people knew about how they can do a vast majority of everything every other horse can do. They can do it. A lot of people are very scared of them because they pace. Because a horse has an extra gait should not be something that it is deemed lesser than for, in my opinion. I see horses in the dressage ring all the time. W's been there. Maybe not the most pretty, but for his first time he did really good. They're super athletic breed. They can do the eventing. They can do the endurance. They can do even just be a pleasure horse. I find they have such a very good sane brain and also the athleticism to go with it. I know a lot of people, even with thoroughbreds, they always say they're hot-headed, but they can do it. Well, standardbreds, I've met them, some that are hot-headed. I've met so many more that are chill, gentle giants that can do all the work, and they don't have the hotness of them. Sometimes you get the fun ones, and I really enjoy the hot-headed ones, honestly. But they're a great breed. There are so many of them I've seen make amazing like husband horse types, lesson pony types, and even having my lesson kids on them the last couple weeks, when we were at the fun show, seeing how they were adjusting so quickly to, okay, the horse is going on the turn, loses balance, and that from the trot comes into a pace, and that they're still able to keep a posting trot in that case, but seeing how they can kind of help them balance out to get back to the trot, and it's just that extra skill to have. And if you can ride an unbalanced pacer, you can ride anything, in my opinion. So I really wish people knew that standardbred is a great breed, and they're so good for any discipline you want to do, even the Western. Like, I've seen so many standardbreds in the Western disciplines lately, and I'm not very into Western, but I'm kind of trying to push myself to kind of step outside the box, and seeing how there's even more standardbreds, I'd say, in the Western disciplines than anything. It's great to see. But yeah, so this is, I'm going to say week 10, and yeah, see you next week.